Got Your Back Pod Stream is powered by Play Alberta. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. And for a limited time only, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code GYB50. That's how Alberta wins.
Tough to win games when you are constantly chasing games. The Oilers, messy through 40 minutes, dug too big a hole, and the Washington Capitals pounce. The Oilers fall to 2-3 on the road trip. They've lost 3 of 4, 6 of their last 9. And my sense is it's going to be a lively stream tonight here on Got Your Back. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody, for this post-game edition. We're live on X, live on YouTube. We're even live over on Twitch. And if you're downloading us and listening in podcast form, we appreciate you as well. As always, this show brought to you by our fabulous title sponsor. It's Timberhouse Developments, the leader in custom and infill development with the knowledge and experience to bring your dream to life. If you're tired of cookie cutter, copy and paste, boring, no soul houses, well, go see the team at Timberhouse. They discover how naturally inspired living can make your life better. Take all the guesswork out of your infill project and work with experienced leaders. Visit timberhouse.ca. And I am coming at you from the beautiful Timberhouse studio out here in Sherwood Park. A truly customized building experience over at Timberhouse. The Oilers not doing much to build any sort of momentum on this trip as we say good evening to Jason Strudwick and Steve Taylor. Struddy, boy, oh boy, it's a long road trip. The results are not good. I don't know how you keep the spirits up on a trip like this, what the plane ride is like, what the bus rides to the airport are like. I mean, you got to think, you almost have to make a conscious effort not to let it get too crappy and heavy. Steve, you've been on those buses too, like Struds. I don't know, man.
You know what's funny is when I started Struddy, you tell me, but the team was already kind of, they weren't doing well by the time I started, and we'd post games would happen and we'd get on the bus and I'd get on the plane and everyone just had that look of like, ugh, here we go, and then they put a smile on their face. And I do feel like players looked a lot to the leaders back then for how they presented themselves after games, Struddy.
Yeah, that's really well said. I mean, you're again, it's not Ty Emerson that's going to dig him out of this, right? It's the play of the guys at the higher end of this pay scale and the guys that have been here for a while, the core. So, they all have to kind of chip in and do it. And getting more and more negative doesn't help. It's not going to, that doesn't create more energy for your group. And it's just, I feel like this road trip has been one constant battle of one area of the Oilers game that I just can't get back. For the most year, it's been like that. And it was the same tonight.
Just a small sample before we get to the breakdown. Just testing the energy on the YouTube stream tonight. And I love our live viewers, right? They generally keep it pretty classy, which we appreciate, right? We don't engage in the BS on this show. Rich Mellon, the forwards are playing a different system than the defense, and they don't support each other. Daniel asking, is Brownie going to defend Skinner again? Aaron St. Pierre saying, how's that Frederick 8-year deal looking? What else we got? Oh, Frankie Tanky. Oh, this is some pessimism. It's pretty much over. I don't see this group making it. Goalies give up 5 a game and absolutely nobody gives up. Beep. That Janmark play wouldn't even be acceptable in the East Coast League. Frankie Tanky following that up saying it's absolutely over. Starting over at 61, who's normally fairly level-headed. On a positive note, fans will save thousands on playoff tickets. K. Gill coming in over the top in all capital letters. We still defending Skinner, guys? Oh, boy. If nothing else, there's some energy on the stream tonight. So let's dig into it, shall we? With our breakdown brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. During every Oiler game day at any Edmonton and area location, enter to win Oiler home game tickets at Rogers Place. Plus, enjoy $1 off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards. 30-plus beer on tap. 50-plus TVs at all locations. When the game goes bad, the food and the drinks are good at the Canadian Brewhouse. That's how you put a spin on it this year. Going to watch the Oil at the Canadian Brewhouse. All right, Struddy. I want to talk about goaltending. The problem is if you start with goaltending, you let everybody else off the hook that was so garbage in the first part of the game. So there's the defensive play and there's the goaltending. I think both are important topics tonight. I'm not sure where you sit. Not nearly good enough, big picture from Skinner, but it feels weird starting there because of all the other crap that happened that wasn't his fault. So we're doing both in the first segment. I'm going to let you decide where to start.
Sure. Let's start with Stu. I'd be interested in which goals you didn't like coming off of the stick. So there's 7 goals tonight. 5 were with a goalie in the net.
Yep. Okay. Let's go get them. The third goal. Which one was that? So that was lost puck
Justin
at the line.
Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard. I almost want to call these up again and watch them as we're talking about them again just because. But I have it in my notes. Didn't love that one. The fourth goal was the power move around Evan Bouchard. I mean, obviously the worst play on that particular one was Evan Bouchard, but still, that's a situation where it's, Thompson's making that save tonight. That's just the way it's going for him. So didn't love that one either. And even the fifth one was the 2-on-1. I know it's an odd man rush, but coming across, he just looked so beatable coming across. So is it completely fair? Maybe not, but that's 3 goals, Struds, that you probably should have a couple of those. And because you don't, it's basically the team's chasing it and it's over. So there were other mistakes on all those goals, but Skinner's got to make something in there because the guy at the other end sure as hell was.
Yeah. Logan played pretty well tonight. I thought it was interesting that the GM of Team Canada was in the building and the way that some of the guys played tonight. I think that's a worthy conversation. When I look at these, it's like, what comes first? The play in front of him or the save? I didn't like the first goal. I didn't like that rebound or lack of rebound control. But if you back up 6 seconds earlier, Connor McDavid has full possession of the puck on the wall, and he is unable to make a play. And then it quickly goes up, over, gone, shot, rebound, tuck in. No one's tying up a guy in the back door.
Okay, Struds, but can I just pause you though?
Okay, go
there
ahead.
Can be mistakes leading up to the shot on net. We can agree. Mistakes happen. Let's evaluate the situation Skinner's in and whether the puck goes in or not. Let's ignore everything else that happens up to that point and just focus. I don't want to, the conversation about who made the biggest mistake on the goal muddies the conversation a little bit about how was Skinner's night. So let's dial in on his night. Is that fair?
You're asking me to change everything I believe in hockey, but I will suspend it for the next 7 minutes, and then I'll go back. Just to be clear, because I can't talk about a goal without talking about what happened before it.
We're talking about goaltending. We're talking about goaltending right now. Let's focus on that.
A lot of these shouldn't even been chances against because of the way the Oilers played, but I'll suspend it.
Fair enough.
Goal 1, I did not like the rebound or lack of rebound control. No issue with number 2. I had no issue, or I had issue with number 3. I had no issue
with number 3?
You did. We both had issue with number 3. I had no issue on number 4, and number 5 I have no issue with as well.
Okay. So the number
5,
the fourth 40%. One, take me through it. So Bouchard gets beat badly. You were okay with Leonard tucking it around the far side there on him? You thought that, hey, just nice play by a guy and no chance for Stu?
That's well, okay. Now you're asking me to go back to where I used to be. Janmark has complete control at the top of the circles in the Washington Capitals face zone. Loses it. Next thing you know, it's streaming up. It's passed way up to Justin Leonard. Evan Bouchard has challenges with his angle and with managing the speed of Justin Leonard. Leonard takes it from right all the way across to his backhand, and goals are scored like that often on netminders. So no problem with that goal at all.
Are you watching that one right now, though? Like, here's my issue with Stu, and grab it if you want. Here's my issue. The 2-on-1 goal, yeah, it's tough. It's a 2-on-1. But when he comes across, it's just, he just looks so beatable as he comes across. And then look at Leonard. When Leonard pulls it to his backhand, it looks like Stu is not even close to getting that pad over there. Like, it's just over and in, and it's like, you know what I mean? There wasn't a big push, and I know it's a quick move. I don't know, man. I'm not a goaltending expert. I just look at these goals and think, like, he's got to get something in there. He's got to get something in there. Good goalies figure out one of these saves. He did it earlier in the game, and I don't want to take that away from him. I don't, because he did his job earlier in the game holding them in there when the Oilers were giving up all kinds of chances. But just because he did it earlier doesn't let him off the hook through the middle portion here, where you got to just come up with something here.
Well, how many times do you have to come up with something off of really good opportunities for the other team?
Lots, when you're the Oilers goalie this year.
But
more than you should.
And I hear what you're saying, and I know people are probably just ripping me. You're always defending Stu Skinner. No, I think that it's the low-hanging fruit to go after the netminder. I believe that you can look up and how many mistakes happen prior to it going in. Yeah, well, other goalies make saves off of problems as well. I hear you, but not every shift, not every time you touch the puck in their own zone are you fighting for your life to try to stop it. So I can't let it go. I can't. The player in me cannot let go what happens prior to the puck arriving at the netminder.
Okay.
I just can't do it. I cannot let that go.
We'll unleash you on that. But I just needed to split your brain there and say, focus on goaltending. You came up with 3 that you raised an eyebrow at. No, 1?
2.
3?
I said 1 and 3. Goal 1 and 3. So 40% of the 5 goals he was in net with.
And you were okay with 4 and 5. I thought, get one of those 2, 4 or 5. Like, get one of them. There's just this side-to-side stuff with Skinner that I think teams just know with this guy. Anyways, so we'll agree to disagree on whether it was 2 or 3.
Okay, let me challenge you on this. Sure. How often do you see defensemen on other teams getting beat with speed wide?
Yeah, I mean, the Oilers have some of the best skating players in the game, and they don't do it very often. Very seldom. Like, yes, let's talk about how crappy the defensive effort is now.
Okay, so let's go through the goals. Goal 1, 97 has puck control on the wall. He loses it. Boom. Goes up, down, bad rebound control by Stu Skinner. No backdoor seal by the D-man. Tap in Poitras. I really like that guy, by the way. Second goal. Arguably the guy who has scored the most goals in NHL history is floating through the slot, and Regula is standing beside him. Hey, let's get one more. 904 tap in. Ovi just taps it in. That's probably his easiest of his 904. No tying up the stick. The third one, I went. That one, I don't know. I think that was more on Stu than anything. There was a bit of a mess at the blue line, bit of a mishandle, but it was a bit unfair. I think he's got it. That's one where I want to find a save. Okay. Goal 4, Janmark has the puck deep, tries to slide it to Frederick, doesn't get to Frederick at the top of the circles. Now it's back. We've already talked about the angle of Bouchard. That's a tough one to sleep on. And then number 5, Janmark tries to kick it, mishandles it. It's a 2-on-1 chance against. So and I know that it's a game of mistakes, but when the Oilers are at their best the last couple of years, they're not giving up those mistakes. They're making other teams earn it. Of those 5 goals where there was some in the net, how many do we actually think that the Capitals earned them?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the Leonard goal, I mean, that's just a great, powerful play. I mean, he earned that by making a great play. Evan Bouchard gave it to him. But I think that's a good play. But I agree with you, buddy. The mistakes are big. I'm not going to sit here and defend the Oilers defensively at all. And I will remind you, I gave you the choice. I said, you want to talk about how bad they were defensively first, or do you want to talk about Skinner first? And you picked Skinner. I'd have been happy to start there and chew on them for all of this stuff.
That's fine.
Right? So you pick Skinner. I don't know which one is I think the defensive play is the bigger problem. And I think that Skinner is struggling like a lot of the team is on a lot of these nights. And obviously it stands out when you're a netminder. So his play hasn't been good enough. Their play hasn't even been in the ballpark. The defensive play tonight, Strud, the first 40 minutes, the big mistakes, they just kept getting in their own way. They kept making these big mistakes. And it was too late by then because Skinner didn't come up with the save that he needed to. that he did earlier in the game, and they couldn't outscore their mistakes tonight, man. They ran out of runway. The numbers would show that the Oilers very much made this they tilted the ice in the back portion of it, but they just ran out of runway.
There is, and you shouldn't have to run out of runway. You should be able to just lock it down defensively. And you hear it from the coach, you hear it from the players on game days, before game days, morning skates, you hear it on off days, like you hear it everywhere, and it's just not changing. And I agree. There are, I outlined the 2 goals I thought Stu should have saved, and okay, maybe you can throw one more in there if you want. So that's 3 against that Capitals team. You should probably have scored 4, right? Like that you probably can get it done. And they did tonight against a pretty good netminder. So it's the same story, the same song we're singing every single night. And until this group decides to do something about it, we'll see these same results here as we walk through the last 2 games of this road trip.
Michael Brownie chiming in again. Struddy's bang on. These Twitter clowns complaining about Skinner on every single goal are clueless. He's a $2.6 million goalie. He is what he is. Don't expect him to steal games like a $10 million goaltender. Something to be said about a starting goalie that makes that much money, which leads to the bigger picture question. We won't have it right now. Should you be hanging your hopes on a Stanley Cup around a $2.6 million goaltender who is below average in terms of starters across the league? That's a more existential question. Stan Bowman has answered it. He answered it last year. It was yes. This year, it's a we'll see. So let's just keep that in mind. It is a we'll see. New segment here. Going to take a deeper dive with some numbers brought to you by McDonald's. To the ones who always ask for extra pickles, this one is for you. The Triple Pickle McCrispy. Made with 100% Canadian raised seasoned chicken, topped with shredded lettuce, crispy fried pickles, tangy pickles, savory dill pickle sauce, and served on a soft potato bun. Wow. Sounds good. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants here in Canada. Steve, courtesy our good friends over at Sport Logic, they do a great job compiling numbers within the numbers from the game. And Struds, which ones caught your eye tonight?
Well, I think let's start with the negative, I guess. I've been on a roll here. So turnover scoring chances. So that means that you had possession of the puck, and then their team gets it, and off of that, they turn into something. Now, this is just after 2 periods, but the Oilers were outchanced 13-5 just off that alone. What I see here is, we've and heard Knoblauch talk about we've got to manage the puck better in front of our netminder. This tells me that didn't work. Now, it may have evened out a bit, as we go into a third because the Oilers are pressing a little bit more. But when the game was early, and then, you could say, was it over after 2? We could debate that. But 13-5, like that's just incredible, Schauger, that is how they're managing the puck, whether it's in any zone and it turns over quickly and gets to the other net and has a good chance to score.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, listen, somebody needs to join us here. So it's just going to take me a second to line this up. But we got a pretty big, pretty important voice in the goaltending world who watches many, many Oiler games and who also constantly hops on to the show after we are done. And let's see if we can get him on the phone here. He's just listening and texting me. Is this it? Let me see if we can hear him.
Hey.
Noodles, you're live with us, buddy. What's going on?
What's going on?
Jeez, you're not busy enough?
Wait, you didn't want to do FaceTime because I got no shirt on laying in bed here. You don't need that.
Oh,
I love it. Well, we won't keep you for...
This is 10th podcast of the day. You're trying to get a free pizza if you get to 10?
No, I just listening to you guys and you're letting everybody off the hook, and I'm saying, what are you doing here? You're like, and
right.
I agree with you, Struddy. I agree with you that there is this team. I've called it the dog park defense. I don't know what the hell they're doing. It's just in the defensive zone. It's like men's league out there. They're just following the puck around, floating, no urgency. I'll give you a prime example. There was, I think it was left shot fourth liner for for Washington. Gets a great look because Podkolzin goes out of the slot and chases the puck where Wallman is already. Okay? So that's, and Stu made a good save. It was more of a positional save. But Schauger was challenging you on some of these goals. Like, I know Skinner made some good saves, but he also, I didn't like some of the goals. The Leonard goal, if you look at how deep he is, his depth, and he can't move side to side. So that's not a good combination. And yes, Bouchard gets the reverse shoulder off, and as casual reaching in there, just hands him a ticket. He might as well just walk him right to the bench and give him some water too. Like it's ridiculous watching some of this stuff where it's like casual this, casual that. Oh, no problem. I was texting Schauger. I said it after the first couple goals, Kulak should have just taken his gear off and tried again maybe in the second period, because I was like, what is going on with this group? But you talk about the high danger chances they give up, and you're right. Like I can't argue with the Struddy when it comes to the plays that lead to behind, in it being in the back of your net. Who was the right shot defenseman? I'm not sure if it was Emberson or Regula that was trying to just play whack-a-mole with a guy at the blue line, and then they just took the puck and got Stu moving. I think it was the third goal. Was that the second?
I think it was Emberson.
Yeah. Emberson. Like, at some point you have to understand that, like, the puck is the priority. I get the body, but there's no support there. And then, I think it was Kulak that was trying to force him wide, but I could see that play develop. And I'm like, here it goes. All you got to do is get the goaltender moving, and it's elevated and it's under the bar. Like, these are types of plays that you do need. I look at it, the goalie needs to make the saves at the right time. That's the difference. You're going to give up goals. You're going to give up chances, but you can't give up a back-breaking goal. It always seemed like they get the game close, and then, okay, it's 4-2. You're down 2-0, you make it 2-1. No, got to make it 3-1. Okay, and then get to 3-2. No, got to make it 4-2. And the plays, you need the save at the right time. And I'll give Stu some credit, guys, that in the overtime games, I think it was Philadelphia, and where else were we? Columbus? No, not Columbus. Two overtime goals by
Carolina.
Roslovic.
Yeah. Carolina.
Okay. If you look at Stu's play, he made a big save before both of those plays, before both of those goals. Stu made good saves. It's the timely save. They're not getting it. And Stu, anytime the formula is get him moving side to side, and he's face down. That's it. So that's the biggest challenge. I think there was 3 goals he probably should have had tonight, but he made a couple good saves to make up for it. That's just not good enough, and it's not hard enough play when you're looking at it. Like, I just don't know, and you guys can ask me questions, or I'll just hang up and listen to what you have to say. But it's just at some point, where's the urgency with this group?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, where's the urgency or the accountability? I joked with Schauger about Kulak, and I like him, but he hasn't played well. But at some point, you've got 7D. You can have a guy miss a shift or two if they're not going that night. That's the thing. I see Kulak make a mistake. It's like, no, right back out there. Like, to me, it's there has to be some accountability. The only accountability I've ever thought about in the last couple weeks was when Bouchard missed the rest of the first period.
Yeah, he's benched Nurse this year for half period, and he's benched Evan Bouchard. I think this is hilarious that Struddy, the D-man, wants to rip on the D, who he normally defends to the ends of the earth, and Noodles wants to rip on the goaltender. You guys are going to be thrown out of your respective unions. Struddy, we're going to let Noodles go here. He needs his beauty sleep, but Struddy, you can have last word to Noodles here.
No, listen, I defer when it comes to goaltending. I defer to him for sure. And I highlighted 2 goals. The third one, the backhand, if he was sitting too far back, I get it. Like, I'm not going to argue with Noodles at all. But I will say it should never have got there. Bouchard should never have let a guy be one-on-one. I'll say I was not a very good defenseman in the NHL, but I rarely got beat one-on-one. I didn't play a lot, so maybe that helped. But just I took pride in that. And you should have pride in not getting beat one-on-one. That's a fundamental skill the D should have.
I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of things that shouldn't happen before the end result. That's what we're seeing with this group.
Right.
It's just, I don't know at what point are you going, where's the pride in it? Where's the extra drive to dig in and not let that goal happen, not let that chance happen.
Yeah.
At some point, this group has to figure it out and go, are you at rock bottom? Are you, I always thought they would probably go 3-4 on this road trip. It's a really tough road trip. They got an opportunity, but Tampa and Florida is no slouch, man. They can
kidding.
play.
No kidding.
We'll see how it goes, but thanks for your time. Long time listener, guys.
Noodles, always appreciate the feedback and appreciate you jumping in your undies while you're all tucked into bed tonight. So get some beauty sleep.
Don't ever
Sounds
call
good,
us
guys.
naked
Chat
again.
later.
Don't ever call us without a shirt on again.
I just want you to go. I want you to go to bed with that image in your head.
I'm going to lose 10 pounds the next 3 days not eating.
See you, buddy.
See you guys.
All right, that is the great Jamie McLennan. Lots of love for Jamie on the stream. The Got Your Back audience loves Jamie McLennan. Great analysis. Some are asking if he's still suspended or if he can come back and back up. People would love to see Noodles. Think maybe if maybe he's the answer in net. And some are asking, are we all still mad at Dustin Schwartz? I thought that was a funny one that went in there as well. Sorry, Struddy. I know he was going to come over the top on you, but when Noodles wants in, we got to open up the phone line.
No, absolutely. And you should know he is, as well as you, he loves the elliptical, right? So the only thing lazier than him on
Kindred
the elliptical
spirit.
is his glove hand. He has the laziest glove hand in the history of the NHL, and that's documented.
Okay.
That's confirmed by Grant Fuhr.
He's not on the show anymore. He can't defend himself. I'm going to have his back here, and I'm going to cut you off there, Struds. That's enough. Jamie McLennan is a goaltending royalty. Let's get to our Relentless player, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services and Edmonton Charity Relentless, in helping 16 to 24-year-olds step out of harm's way and into meaningful work. Make that change today right here at home. Visit ucan.ca. Struddy, who are you going to go with tonight, my man?
Now, you're not going to like this one. I'm going to go with the whole Washington Capitals team and their commitment to blocking shots. 25 block shots tonight, and it was noticeable.
Yep,
There were some really good ones where they, on the penalty kill, they were square to Leon trying to take a shot off the side. On D-men, I really give them credit. I didn't know they were this good. Now, maybe they had a good night, but squaring up to shots, they did a really good job. 25 block shots. That's one every 30 seconds in English. Pretty good, Shaggy. So they get my group.
I think that's fine. I'm coming around to this idea of you giving Relentless player to like an entire group of people. I think that on a night like tonight, that probably makes a little bit of sense. So I will accept that one. I will accept your entry. That's our UCAN Youth Services Relentless player of the night. Real quick, before we go to break, let's check in on our storyline of the day, brought to you by Play Alberta, with casino winners every hour. Jackpots worth millions and revenue that stays in the province. Never been a better time to sign up with Play Alberta. Right now, you can score a $50 free bet when you make a minimum $50 deposit with the code GYB50. Start playing with your game sense today and find out if you are Alberta's next winner. Okay, didn't hit on the line tonight. We were thinking that it was going to be a Zach Hyman goal, and we had an Evan Bouchard power play point, I think, in there. We had parlayed for a real nice number from Play Alberta today. That didn't hit, Struds, but maybe that gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about Hyman. He's been around it. You feel like it's not going to be too long before he finds it. So we might continue to have some lines on Zach Hyman, because I think the quality of play, like the production's going to catch up here to the quality of play. Is that fair?
Love the way he's skating. He's getting it on that forecheck. It gets noticeable.
Yeah.
I'd say he is the Oilers' best forechecker right now. And he usually is. He is on that puck. And, case in point, was it Darnell's first or second goal today? I think the second one. Beats a guy off the face-off, jumps in, grabs that puck, rips it out to Darnell. Darnell, cashes that chip. So really like the way he's forechecking. And when you're forechecking, good things happen. So, yes, I think he will find it.
Did you think that was a set play off the faceoff? I think it was Justin Bourne in the intermission suggesting they would lose that on purpose into the corner because they like that mismatch. I mean, I've heard of that before. I don't know how much centers, necessarily love doing that, but did that feel like a set play or just great work by Hyman?
Yeah, I mean, either way, he was jumping. So maybe it could be, and I have heard that types of thing because your right winger knows he's got to jump through.
Yeah.
So either way, he beat the Capitals defenseman. That's all that matters, right? That if it was intentional or not, and then to make a play like that really quick. So he's skating well, and he should be because he's been skating for how many months here, before he could get back into this lineup. I
He
don't mean
does
to
look
laugh,
good.
but it's true. It's true. I've had a
Yeah.
broken hand. I just skated for like just skated. That's all you do. You can't wait to come back to hit someone.
To the Weiss Johnson Soundbox, we'll hear from a few of the people involved tonight. Should you need a new train, furnace, air conditioner, heat pump, hot water tank, or garage heater, Weiss Johnson's offering 24 months, no interest, equal payments, OAC to make your purchase easier. Heading into the Christmas season, WJJingle.com is the website for exclusive Got Your Back listeners. That's WJJingle.com. Jingle!
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Chris Knoblauch on the defensive issues.
The commitment to protecting the dangerous ice. You look at the first goal against, we got a lot of guys out of position on that, and we get beat to the dangerous ice. And we don't give Stu much help. And you look at these nights where Stu's giving up a lot of goals, and you're thinking, it's on goaltending, but we're not making the game easy for him. When you look at
All right, there it is, Chris Knoblauch. Rob Brown just around the corner. We're going to take a quick break. Takeaways is up next. When we come back, this is Got Your Back presented by Timber House Developments. Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly. All right, cruising right along. Time now for our takeaways brought to you by Chandos Construction. They don't just hire talent, they invest in their people. They're 100% employee owned. That's cool when a company does that. 100% employee owned. So when their people grow, the whole company grows right along with it. Ready to build something that matters? Apply now at chandos.com/apply. That's chandos.com/apply. Rob Brown joining us in a couple of minutes. So I want to shift gears a little bit. The panel on tonight's show had an interesting debate threads about Tom Wilson versus Zach Hyman being on an Olympic team. And this is interesting to me. I thought it was a good discussion they had. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. We can maybe even get Rob Brown's. But listen, we all know that Tom Wilson, over the top physicality, over the top toughness, has shown he could be a true power forward and score a ton of goals. But Zach Hyman also has some elements in his game, these intangibles that you would love if you're Team Canada. So if Hyman continues to play as he's played here, and if his game continues to grow, I think there's a conversation to be had about the two. What say you? Which one?
Well, for those that didn't see it, the GM of Team Canada was in the building. And I thought that both Hyman and Wilson really showed what they're all about. The first thing that I think about when I think of Zach Hyman is instant chemistry with Connor McDavid. Right away. Just it's there. You don't have to work on it. They're right together. But his forechecking ability and his desire and ability to get to middle of the ice and to the net, it's beautiful. And that's what you need when you play with Connor McDavid. So I think that is really important. On the other side, I thought Tom Wilson was excellent tonight. What I liked about it, his physicality. He had a huge hit on Seavoy, not dirty. He didn't go crazy looking for it. He was just there when Seavoy was kind of in an awkward position. He didn't bury him to the point where he was going to get a 5-minute major. It was just a good, hard hit. He made a couple good defensive plays, obviously scored the 2 empty net goals, which, whatever. But I think that puts him up to 11 goals though now. He and tonight did everything right to show Team Canada that he has the discipline and the game required for that type of tournament. The advantage for Tom, there's no one else like Tom. There's no one else. If he comes to that tournament, there will be no one else like him. Not one guy. So really tough decision if it comes down to either Tom or Zach for Team Canada.
Mellotron says you're not going to name a guy to the Olympic squad who's just coming off a 6-month injury. I don't necessarily agree. Let's see how his hands do. They've got a bit of time before the announcement is made. So let's see. Wilson, 33 goals last season. They talked about it on the broadcast, and I would agree. He's a guy that has gotten the big, massive, penalty. For the most part, it's coming out of his game. But what I would say here, as Rob Brown checks in, Brownie, we're having a discussion, continuing what the panel was talking about tonight. We'll get your thoughts on the game in a couple of minutes here, but the Wilson versus Hyman on the Olympic team debate. Thing about Tom Wilson, I would not be surprised if at some point during the Olympic tournament he got 5 in a game, because he threw a hit that in the NHL would be generally not awful, but he'll take those hits when they're there. And in international play, it doesn't always work. Zach Hyman's going to throw just as many hits, but I think he's less prone to the big penalty. So, I might lean a little bit towards Hyman, and because of the experience playing with Connor McDavid as well. But you got Wilson out there killing penalties. He's got a lot of different elements to his game. Brownie, what say you, buddy, on this one?
Well, see, I like both of them as players. And I didn't get to hear the panel talk. I was on air. I watched them talk about it. I think there's pros and cons to both players. I don't understand Hyman could play with McDavid, but I don't know if he would. I think there's players higher on the depth chart than Zach Hyman that'll be playing on that team. So I don't know if Hyman is even on McDavid's line. The one thing about Wilson tonight, if they brought a Wilson or a Hyman, the reason they would bring those guys is for what you saw Wilson do tonight. When you're up a goal late in a game, you're out there to make sure the opposition doesn't score. He scores 2 empty net goals, including blocking a Bouchard shot where he stuck his foot out. We've seen the Oilers 6-on-5. They are the best 6-on-5 team in the league, and Wilson was able to score 2 goals. So I see your point about him taking a big penalty. The one thing I will say is the referees will be more NHL referees. So it's not like you are going to a world championship for penalties being called. But I mean, I would pick Hyman myself because I'm a Hyman fan. I see him all the time play. I feel that he will be physical. I think the play that he had, the way he played in the playoffs last year, is what Team Canada will be looking at, because he has a smaller runway this year with missing all these games. I think Hyman should be on the team, and I think Wilson will be close to being on the team.
Great points by you, Brownie, and welcome to the show, by the way. We're just going to get quickly to our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll because it's very much on this topic. We want to know what you think. DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, score 50% off clothing and footwear, 20 to 50% off bags, save $10 a dozen on Callaway Chrome golf balls, and grab selected brand name wedges for just $99. These deals and more all month long, located at 5311 99th Street here in Edmonton. A simple one, Steve. Simply Steve, a simple poll question.
Simply Steve with a simple poll. It is, will Zach Hyman make the Olympic team? The answers are yes or no.
All right. Ask us anything later on in the show. We will get the results there for you. Okay, Brownie, there was a comment here. Struds and I got into it pretty good in that first segment. John Gillis is saying ahead of time, Rob Brown, do not defend Skinner, brother. I know it's coming. Please don't. The chat can't handle it right now. He is pleading with you not to defend Stu Skinner. Listen, for me, it was equal parts brutal defense. I thought Skinner definitely needed to come up with more than he was able to tonight. Noodles even hopped onto the show because he felt Struds was defending the goaltending a little bit too much. So I'm going to put the same thing to you I put to Struds. We have to talk about the D. We have to talk about the goaltending. You pick where you're going to start, Brownie.
Well, I think Skinner was as much part of the problem as anyone else. I don't think he was more of a problem than Kulak or Wallman or Bouchard. I think he was as much a problem. Did he let any bad goals in? No. But he had a .730 save percentage. That's not good enough. Logan Thompson, I don't think had a great game either. But in the third period, when the game was in the balance, he made 2 or 3 great saves. Great saves. And the Oilers didn't get that from Skinner. I think if you blame Skinner for the loss, then you are letting 20 other players off the hook. because this Oiler team is as poor defensively as I've seen in a number of years. And I don't care who's in net for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think their record is any better. They are that bad defensively. So I don't think the Oilers lost because of Skinner, but Skinner certainly didn't help the Oilers out at all. I think he was as big a part of the problem as everyone else in this game.
So let me clarify, because Schauger, I feel, is turning my words, spinning my words a little bit.
Really?
I said a 5 goals against, 40% I didn't like. That's 2 out of 5. So I'm not letting him off the hook. But they're also, prior to those both goals, and my goals were the first and the fourth goal, there were plays that were made that shouldn't even happen, and they shouldn't even got to that point. And not to keep highlighting Evan Bouchard in this, but you shouldn't get beat 1-on-1 in the NHL. Like I said, I wasn't that great a D-man. I wasn't getting beat 1-on-1. Now, maybe I wasn't going against Leonard, but I played against a couple good players. And so it shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen. The first goal, 97 has the puck, loses it in his own zone, and now it's in his net, 6-7 seconds later. Bad rebound control by Skinner. But the puck management in front of them, guys, is so weak right now. And it's just mind-baffling because we've seen him do so much more. So I'm not letting Skinner off, but I'm definitely not letting the players off, because the players are consistently doing this night in, night out.
No, let me talk about what you said there too. So that goes with what I said. I think that Skinner he's part of it, all of it. And I don't think if you have a different goalie, the Oilers have any more wins this year, because they're that bad defensively. The one thing, and I've heard goalies talk about it, and I'm not a goalie, nor am I a goalie expert, but I've listened to goalies talk. The one thing that they want in their game is predictability. And I put an example tonight, and it was the one that went off the post that didn't go in the net for the Washington Capitals. It sat behind, and Ekholm dove in there. There were 2 Washington Capitals in front of the net, and Ekholm and Wallman were on the ice. The puck hit the post, bounced out, was in the crease. Neither Ekholm or Wallman touched the 2 Capital players. Didn't go after their sticks, didn't go after their bodies. They're trying to find the puck. The job of the defenseman is take away the stick of the forward so that the goalie has the predictability to know, I have to grab the puck. The one that Bouchard got beat on by Leonard, he was on the wrong side of the ice defensively in the neutral zone. He was too far over. He gets beat, and then he stops. The predictability should have been with Skinner. It's a one-on-one. I'm going to be able to go down. Leonard's not going to be able to make a play because it's a one-on-one. He will not get free. But because there's no predictability, and Leonard beats Bouchard clean, he's able to walk around Stuart Skinner. This Oiler team has been so bad defensively, going on what you just talked about with the other goals. There's no predictability. The goaltender has no idea what he's supposed to do because the defense have no idea what they've been doing. So from when I listened to Jonathan Quick and Carey Price, they talked about when they have good defensive structure in front of them, they know that that's my guy. I don't have to worry about anything else. The Edmonton Oilers right now, I don't think in their own zone know who their man is.
Yeah, it's both. I mean, it's both. There's no – people want to have this argument about which is it, which is worse, which is which. It's not nearly where it needs to be defensively for this team. And Skinner, overall this season, has not made the improvements that he needs to be showing that he's made for the Oilers to be able to hang their hat on another playoff run on Stuart Skinner. He's not there, and he hasn't showed it. He's still got some time here, but so far he's not quite there yet, even though there has been a slight uptick in his play before tonight's game. The blue line, Struddy, there's some real disturbing individual performances happening right now. Like Jake Wallman looked exhausted all night. He was half arsing it out there in his own end a bunch of times. He was hunched over. He just looked, and Jake Wallman's not a slow player. He just made himself look sluggish and off tonight. Brett Kulak. I mean, this guy, he's a number 5 defenseman every year till the playoffs start. Then he becomes a number 4 somehow. He is so much better than this. How are these players playing so poorly when we know that they are better players than this, Struds?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, and there's I'm getting a lot of texts about Paul Coffey and the input he had or the impact he had. And there's no doubt he helped the group. But those lessons should carry on with you. And that's why I'm trying to tell people, you don't just forget what a coach worked on you with. It should carry on with you. But what we're seeing here is the way they're defending. These are individual moments. I don't believe it's as systematic, right? When Ovechkin's flown through the zone and you don't tie up his stick if you're Alec Regula, there's no system I know that says, just leave a stick. Just try to, get him through as quick as you can. You tie up the stick. And a lot of the other things, the first goal, not tying up the stick, like those are all, to me, basic things that you want for a D-man. So it's just, I don't remember seeing a group of D-men struggle so much. Bouchard and Ekholm have been better lately. I thought Nurse was good tonight. But it's maybe that's it. Maybe that's three of them. And then maybe some more guys come online here over the next, handful of games, Brownie, 7 to 10 days.
Well, to me, and the word that I think that you're more or less saying here is the fundamentals. I think the Oilers' defensive group have forgotten about the fundamentals. I mean, the Leonard goal where he beat Bouchard, when they look at the overhead, the puck is coming up the right side of the ice. Evan Bouchard, the last man back, he's standing on the opposite side. Like you're supposed to cut off the ice. If you're defending, you cut off the ice. So you get over to where the puck is. So he was so far on the other side for no reason. So now he turns it into a foot race. Jake Wallman, how many times has he pinched this year when there's no backside support? In the game-winning goal tonight, a 2-on-1, there was, like, when they showed, it was a jailbreak. The Capitals were flying out. Wallman had no support. You cannot pinch there. And he's done it over and over again. Now, this goes back to kind of what Schauger was just talking about with Wallman. Is he, the layoff, did that take him out of game shape? Is he pinching because it's easier to pinch than it is to back off and defend? Because then when he pinched, and then when they showed the overhead of the goal going in, he still wasn't back in the play. He wasn't even close to being back in the play. Kulak, last game in Buffalo, has the puck with his feet standing still. We all know you cannot make a play with your feet standing still. You have to start moving. Feet standing still, fires one up the slot in Buffalo, right to a Buffalo Sabre. He never makes those mistakes. So the fundamentals right now are lacking for the Edmonton Oilers defensemen, and that goes to what you're saying. That is not a system thing. That is players having brain cramps, making fundamental mistakes that every one of those players was taught minor hockey, junior college minors. And for some reason right now, all of them to start this season are in a bit of a funk.
We'll wrap up this segment with a couple of statistics here. Once again, these courtesy our friends at Sport Logic. These are defensive metrics, and they were heading into this game. So this is not including this game tonight. Goals against, 28th in the league. Expected goals against, 19th in the league. Slot shots against, 24th. Inner slot shots, 23rd. Slot passes, so the number of passes are allowed through the slot, 21st. Rush chances against, 30th. Cycle chances, 23rd. High danger chances, 29th. It's just not happening defensively for this team. They got a long, long way to go. And until that turns around, not going to matter who's in net. Okay, that was our takeaway segment brought to you by Chandos Construction. Going to grab a break here. When we come back, Brownie points. We'll look at some core adjustments that the Oilers should be considering. And, of course, Struddy's World. Lots more ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse Developments.
Why would you? Nobody puts in wood windows or siding anymore, so why put in wood fences? A maintenance-free vinyl fence from DLR is backed by a lifetime warranty and will save you time. Weekends are for playing, not painting. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
It is time for Brownie Points, straight from the brain of Rob Brown, brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. Get 10 years of built-in confidence at your Alberta Ram dealer with Canada's best full-size truck limited powertrain warranty. Every new 2026 Ram truck comes with 10-year, 160,000-kilometer warranty. Go check out this fantastic set of wheels at your Ram dealer today. Brownie?
Well, I'm going to start off with 43 brownie points to Washington Capitals' Tom Wilson, who finished the night's game with 2 goals and +3, in a night that he was matched up against Connor McDavid almost the entire evening. Wilson is trying to make a case to be part of Team Canada, and the Canadian brass was in the press box tonight. I know both goals that he scored were empty net goals, but if he's playing on Team Canada, that is when he will be on the ice defending a lead. Those were big moments for him. I thought he succeeded in those, and he did a great job in making a good case to be part of Team Canada. I got -7 to the Oilers' defensive play tonight. The Oilers dressed 7 defensemen in this game, but still struggled with ill-advised pinches, soft defensive zone coverage, poor defensive reads, and too many turnovers leading to way too many grade A scoring chances against. The Oilers mounted a valiant third-period comeback again, but it was because of a very poor defensive first 40 minutes. I got 6 brownie points. So all the players trying to impress Team Canada brass in the stands. We are 6 weeks away from the teams announcing their rosters. Tonight, I believe Tom Wilson and Logan Thompson helped their chances. I think Hyman didn't hurt his, but both Bouchard and Skinner, I believe, dampened their chances of being part of Team Canada. The brass was in the press box watching them up close and personal, and they got a good eyeful of the good and the bad. I got 2. I want to give some positive. 2 brownie points. The Oilers rookie David Tomashik, who has spent more time in the press box than he has on the ice in the last few weeks, but found the back of the net for his second National Hockey League goal and his first National League goal that he actually put in the net himself. It's always tough coming from the press box to play in, but good for him, and that goal showcased the kind of hands he has, foot to stick around the goaltender. Tomashik was one of the few bright spots in this hockey game. And finally, the last one. I got -22 brownie points to the Oilers coaching staff. We are 22 games into the season. We have no better idea today than we did 22 games ago of where the Oilers players stand. Is Seavoy good enough to be in the top 6? Is Mangiapane a fit in your top 6, or is he a bottom 6 guy? Where's Frederick play? The Oilers continually change their line from warm-up to the first period to halfway through the second period. It's the Connor Leon show. I believe Chris Knoblauch has to set lines and allow those lines to play. And there might be warts, but we will find out if they're good enough. Because the trade deadline is going to come, and you need to know, what do we need? Top 6 winger? Do we need a center for your third line? Do we need some roughness in our bottom 6? We had a very good line with Roslovic, Leon, and Podkolzin that was separated. This does not make sense to me. So I'm taking away 22 points from Chris Knoblauch for the way this first 22 games have gone when it comes to line combination. And those, my friends, are tonight's brownie points.
All right, I'm going to remember that. And when the Oilers get back, I'm going to let Chris Knoblauch know that happened. Just a heads up for you. You're in the minus on your brownie points total for the year. Some great ones there, Brownie. One of them specifically I want to dial in on, and we'll make that our core adjustments. That's brought to you by HSE Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSE Core keeps your business compliant so you can keep working. Visit www.hsecor.com for more information. So you talk about adjustments and some over-adjusting as we see it. You want the lines to get dialed in. So, Brownie, what would you most like to see as I'd say a top 3 lines. And let's say, I mean, Nugent Hopkins, we think will be back here in the not too distant future. So let's just throw Nugent Hopkins in the mix as well. What do you think, Brownie? What's the right configuration of the top 3 lines that you think he should just let run? What are you curious to see?
Well, I would go with McDavid, with Hyman, and I would put Seavoy there to see if he's capable. Give him a 10-game run. Is he capable of playing there, or do we need to upgrade? My second line would be Draisaitl with Roslovic and Pekolden, because they have been good. They've been very, very good so far. My third line, I would have Nugent Hopkins with Henrique and Mangiapane. And then my fourth line would be Janmark, Frederick, and Kapanen when he gets back. But my leash would be short with Frederick. I, again, did not notice him in this game tonight. And in the games that Lazar and Frederick both have played, Lazar has outplayed Frederick and gives you more because he wins face-off penalty killing. So my top 3 lines would be the ones that I gave. If Seavoy can't make it there, then you can flip-flop he and Nugent Hopkins. And Seavoy could be a very nice third-line player playing with Frederick at center.
Struds?
I really like those lines. It's probably exactly how I'd have them as well. I want to have my 3 stud centermen down the middle and then kind of fan it out after that. You know, Seavoy had the breakaway tonight. Man, it would have been nice if he'd have scored there. You know, that's a huge opportunity. You gotta finish that, right? You gotta find a way to finish that off. And I actually would challenge you guys. I thought Trent Frederick was a step better today. I know what we're talking about. We're not talking about, you know, he wasn't dunking on a 15-foot net out there, but you got to build something. The guy was physical. He had tons of shots. So I'm going to say he was better today. But listen, that doesn't excuse what we've seen recently, for sure.
I agree with you there, buddy. I do agree with you. Frederick had a pulse tonight, and he was, for the most part, he was pushing it in the right direction. So not a huge win for him, but not another loss, I would say. And at this point, those are wins for him. Brownie, what are you seeing out of Seavoy? Is this guy going to be able to produce at this level or not? I mean, he's got that chance right in front of the net, can't even get the shot on net, has the breakaway. Like, he's had lots of looks. There have been a lot of players that have come along and had great details in their game, right? Like, there's a fine line between being Mark Arcabello and Kyler Yamamoto and being what they think Seavoy is going to be able to be. So do you have a sense for it yet?
The one thing that I haven't seen from Seavoy yet is the finish, and it's a shot. I don't know if the shot is quick enough and hard enough. When you're playing, and we've said this many times when Yamamoto was here, and when you're playing top 6 minutes, you have to produce. When you're playing with Connor and Leon, you have to finish those opportunities. You just have to, or you don't play. Now, I was very critical last year of Arvidsson and Colton because they never scored. If you're playing in a top 6 role with Connor and Leon, you do. This is why I would give him a 10-game stretch. And I would let him play from the drop of the puck till the final minute. You can't take them away. You've got to let them find their way on the lines that they're on. Because you're not finding out. We know Connor and Leon are good together. But let's find out if Seavoy and Connor are good. Let's find out if in the third period, if Roslovic, Leon, and Pekolden can score you a goal. I just think they're going to the whip too quickly, too early, that you are not really getting a true evaluation of all your players and what they're capable of doing at the right moment. But yes, I do believe Seavoy deserves a chance and a long stretch to be able to find out if he can play in an offensive role.
You know what the issue sometimes is, though, Brownie? Sometimes it just works. The first shift, he put McDavid and Draisaitl together tonight in a 2-0 game. They scored. Darnell Nurse ended up getting it, but they had a good shift and they scored. That's the problem. That's the elixir. It's like an addiction. You just need it. You're in a game, you're down, you're feeling stressed on the bench, and it's just such an easy potion to go to, and sometimes it works.
No, you're right, Shog. You're 100% right with that. But you're also 9-13 on the season in wins and losses. The Calgary Flames now have more regulation wins than you do on the season. We know Connor and Leon works. We're not trying to evaluate that. You've got to figure out what you need and what these players are capable of. So I understand what you're saying, And I understand why a coach does it. But if fans wonder why the players have higher numbers before they come to Edmonton, like a Frederick, like a Skinner, like an Arvidsson, why they have higher numbers before they come to Edmonton and then drop off here? Well, because when they come here, they don't get those minutes. They don't get those offensive faceoffs. They don't get to play late in hockey games with Connor and Leon. At that point, they're moved down the lineup. So I think you got to find out what these players are capable of doing. And the only way to do that is to allow them to try and succeed on their own with Connor, with Leon, late in games and important minutes.
All right.
I'll just quickly. Just quickly. I think that what you do is Brownie, 100% right. You maybe have to take some short-term pain for long-term gain. Just for those keeping score at home, Arvidsson has 6 goals and 4 assists in Boston right now after 20 games. Couldn't play last year with the Oilers. So, I mean, what's going on with these players that come in, and why are they not fulfilling what expectations are? And I think that's a fair question for the organization to ask themselves.
I'm okay with spot duty. I'm okay with other team ices the puck and they got the fourth line on the ice and you want to load up a line for a shift. I'm okay with that. They're always going to want to do that here and there. Maybe out of the other team's power play 100%. And they don't score, you want to come back with those guys. I think those are effective ways. But he's throwing chaos into his lines on a regular basis with these changes. Brownie, your point is very well made. Let's wrap the segment real quick, guys. Do we have a thought on Darnell Nurse? Like, we were chewing on him pretty good the other night. Couple of goals from him tonight. I went and got in Wilson's face, sticking up for a teammate there. Was this a good step forward for Darnell Nurse, Struds?
Yeah, I think I hinted at it a little bit earlier. I thought he was good tonight, right? Yeah. And he and Wallman just they weren't working out together. And I thought, he and Bouchard were, it would work for sure for Darnell. So the move away from that pairing was the right move. I think ultimately I'd like to see him back with Wallman. But, maybe it was Wallman that was struggling. So let's see what happens the next game, because now Darnell said it. But I think he's at his best when he's being physical, not necessarily carrying the puck, and doing his job and doing it really well.
Right.
Well, Darnell Nurse is best when he plays with swagger. I think most players are, but Darnell really is. He scored his goal after he got in the face of Wilson. He showed a little swagger. He had that smile on his face, like, yeah, okay, but yeah, that's when Darnell's at his best. And we haven't seen that swagger from him all season long. But he showed a little bit of it. He scored a goal. Then he had more swagger. So, yeah, I do believe it was a positive game for Darnell Nurse. And as I said tonight on our broadcast, Darnell Nurse is going nowhere. He's not going to another team. His contract prohibits that. For the Edmonton Oilers to have success, they need a good Darnell Nurse. They don't need him to be better than he is. They just need Darnell to be the best version of himself. We should be cheering for Darnell Nurse if we're a fan of this team, because they need Darnell Nurse to be a top 4 defenseman playing with swagger. I think tonight was a step forward for that.
Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard on the ice at 5-on-5 tonight for 18 minutes and 15 seconds, the most that they played with anybody else. Shot attempts were 28-13 for the Oilers when they were on the ice. Goals were 3-1. Shots for 14-7. So they definitely pushed in the right direction. Good nights with Bouchard and Nurse together. I don't think they happen a ton. Generally, that has not worked, but it was a good one tonight. I would expect to see it again tomorrow night. That's our core adjustments, brought to you by HSE Core Services. Roll the animation. Time to hear what's on the big guy's mind. Struddy's World.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
God, I look good.
Yes, it is time for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's leading supplier of vinyl products, offering premium materials for fences and decks designed to stand the test of time. No rotting, no fading, no deteriorating. Whether you're looking for a professional contractor or planning to tackle the job yourself, they've got the resources, they've got the expertise to help. Canadian-owned and operated locations in Calgary and Edmonton. These are my brothers, Rick and Rob, asking, why would you go with wood? Check them out online, dlrvinylproducts.ca. Why would you, Struddy?
Well, I've done it again. Solved another problem in the world that people didn't know needed solving. When you come off the ice after coaching or playing hockey, we all know that your hands can be a little stinky. The old mitts don't make it smell that great. I've been working on this for a number of years now, probably well over 10. Use different things. I've used shaving cream. I've used a mouthwash after games. I've used all kinds of things, even soap. I've gone to soap, never worked. I went to the store quite a while ago, actually. I found this incredible concoction. It's equal parts moisturizing cream and antibacterial cream. They put it together. Can you imagine? And it has smells. There's different smells like, pumpkin pie. There's Christmas smells. So what I do now, prior to going on, I keep this in my bag, 2 squirts, rub my hands together to get a nice start. So when I put it in my gloves, I've already got that smell in my gloves. Then I come off the ice, same thing, 2 squirts, rub my hands together, and I walk away. Not a scent on these hands. These hands are unbelievable. I've had people as I walk by said, man, your hands smell nice. I'm like, thank you for noticing. By the way, my eyes are up here. So it's a huge improvement. So if anyone wants to know, I've solved it, guys. It's over. The days of stinky hands because you're dirty mitts, those days are over, guys. You're welcome.
2 squirts and a woo for Struddy, Brownie. 2 squirts and a woo.
Well, I solved this years ago. I just made sure I didn't sweat when I was on the ice. I never had a problem with it.
I think you're going to get sick of the smell. I think heavy deodorizers you need something that more kills bad hockey smell. When you go all in with one particular scent and you're going to do that every time, your whole bag is going to smell like it. It's just going to take over and it's going to be overpowering. And you're going to be that guy that when you skate up to kids, they're going to be distracted because Coach Uncle Struddy smells funny. They're going to be talking about it in the room behind your back. This is a bad idea, Struds. It's too much.
So I've been doing this for 10 weeks already. And I use different flavors or different scents all the time. And that's a great idea. There's many different flavors.
Are you eating the moisturizer, Struds? Are you eating it?
And I have kids on the ice that like, man, your gloves smell nice. Do you want some? I say, I'm like, yeah. So I give a couple squirts as well after practice.
Nobody's saying that to you. No kid has said that to you. I call total BS on that.
They have. And both of my boys now use it. They have it. And they're getting compliments. This thing is taken off. It's like a wildfire. You can't control it. And remember where it started. When you see someone pull out at Men's League Division 18, man, your hands smell good. I heard about Struddy. He did it. And that's the next stop, right?
So Dan Grasser says, I was a pro shop manager for 23 years. If you want to never have your gloves stink, just wash your hands before using them. That's a start. Why don't you just use basic soap and water, give them a wash, and then you're not going to smell like a perfume dispensary.
It doesn't work. Pro shop. Is he talking about a golf shop? He's in the pro shop.
Pro shop
about
manager.
that. I'm not asking you to tell me how to stop my slice. I'm asking you how I can get the stink off my mitts. Like, geez. That's like an accountant telling a doctor how to do a open heart transplant. I don't need your advice on that. Let's stick in our lanes here, guys. Jeez.
Struds, do you dry out your gloves after ice times, or do you just use this concoction?
Dry as a bone. So I've got a system in the back. What I do is I have an area in the back of my car. I lay it all out, and crank up the heat.
Yep.
And it just dries. It just dries, no problem. Got to put the windows down. Sometimes it gets a little gamey, but so it's just unbelievable.
So I think this is a good. I'm with you. I could see this working out really well if you keep your gloves dry and you use the this concoction. I could see that
100%.
working out.
How are those? How are those jeans smelling after hours of track pants over top of them on the ice? Any solutions for that, big guy?
So that's a pretty personal question, Shogger. But I'm lucky we're friends.
We're close.
I won't take it personal.
We're tight.
So I've told you before, and obviously you didn't write this down in your diary, I only wear jeans if it's only 1 hour of ice time. Anything north of an hour, I put something else on. The other day I had shorts on, showed off the calves. Usually there's some kind of a sweat pant I wear, tighter fitting on the calves. So that's how I do it. I don't do it more than an hour, buddy.
It is Struddy's world, and we are all just living in it.
Dan Gracer's
Brownie-
he's defending himself, by the way. He said it's a
What
hockey
did he
pro
say?
shop. You goof.
Oh.
Was the quote.
Well, who
You
calls
goof.
it that? Who calls it a hockey pro shop? I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
A hockey store.
That was a little bit of a weird way to come at it there, Dan.
Yeah, that tells
Brownie,
me. Yeah.
Hey, I
Brownie,
got a
we're gonna
question
let you
for
go.
guys, though.
Yeah.
If you've got an answer, I don't know the answer to this one. Regula played a minute 20 tonight. Was he injured or was he benched? Did you guys already talk about this?
No, I saw that. Yeah, minute 33, 3 shifts. And one of the shifts was didn't tie up on Ovechkin.
We scored on one. Yeah. So minute 30, you have 7 defensemen. I understand the numbers are going to be down. But this is a defenseman you're trying to find his game. Was he hurt in the game? Or they just decided in a game that they were not very good in defensively, we're just going to bench that guy for the entire game?
I don't think he would have got benched for the entire game for a mistake. I don't think that they would necessarily have done that. My guess is, because he's dealt with some injury issues, my guess is there's something there. We'll keep an eye on any moves and such. It'd be interesting to see if they feel they need to call somebody up. I mean, too late to do it for tomorrow, but if they can for that Panthers game on Saturday, if they have some injury issues. They were short of forward, so they got to get somebody up. And I wonder, there's lots of talk about who could come up from the minors, and it's a game against those pesky Panthers. So it might be interesting to see what happens in the coming days. Brownie, thanks, buddy.
All right, guys, take care.
All right. That's Robbie Brown. All right. Epic Struddy's World brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. When we get back, we'll take a lap, check out the scoreboard, and ask us anything. Really lively stream. I've seen tons of good stuff coming in. Steve is tracking it all. We'll wrap our poll as well. This has Got Your Back presented by Timberhouse. Stay with us.
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BaddyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit BelvedereGCC.com today.
Oh, yeah. Let your troubles melt away, Oiler fan, with this retro-style theme song. Jamie McLennan chiming in on the text saying, "Thanks, pal. That was fun." I think he means coming over the top on Struds. Time now to take a lap, brought to you by Riverside Motorsports. Family owned and operated, serving Edmonton and area for over 55 years. They feature top brands like Yamaha, Suzuki, Polaris, Husqvarna, Gas, delivering the best selection in Alberta. Big inventory of parts and accessories, recognized as the #1 KTM dealership in the country. Check them out online, www.riversidemotorsports.com, or check out their store just off of St. Albert Trail. All right, Struddy, where are we going to take some laps tonight?
Yeah, my favorite third-line center signed an extension with the Winnipeg Jets. Adam Lowry, their captain,
That's
5x5. Yeah, I mean, he's not a spring chicken. Let's be honest, right? He's not a young human, but I think it's a good deal for him. It's a good deal for the team. And even, he's third line center. I guess he can moonlight up a bit higher. Then you can see what happens in, maybe towards the end of it. Is he bumping down? But he's a big guy. He skates pretty well for a big human. Does a lot of things right. So they're obviously trying to keep their core together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of those, rewarding them, I think, with the term. The dollar figure in today's NHL, I think, is perfectly fine for what he does and what he brings them. Now, he's 32 years old. How does the drop-off look at 33, 34, 35? I think we all know at 36 and 37, it'll be what it'll be. but that's the way deals are done in the NHL now. Guys get deals into their late 30s when they have the type of resume that Adam Lowry has. So, but the Jets locking up a piece of their core and a guy who's dealt with some injuries lately, Struds, but a big part of any run they're going to make.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Unfortunately for a team who was off to a good start, is now without their best defenseman indefinitely. Mr. McAvoy was hit the other night, and I was right. It did. I went back and looked at it. It did kind of hit his kind of underneath his chin first, then bounced into his mouth. And so you thought he would avoid some of the worst of it. Well, I was wrong, because he got dental surgery today and is out indefinitely. And I once got hit in the mouth, and it was awful. And I didn't even get surgery. So, I mean, I know what I went through just for mine. I can only imagine what he's going through with that. So a couple things. How does this affect the Bruins during the time he's away? And also, how does this affect Charlie McAvoy, on his hope to play in the Olympics? Now, we've got some time. We've got some runway, Shogger, but not that much time. If you're talking a couple months or so, who knows how this affects him.
He's had some tough stuff. Didn't he have the bad one at the Four Nations as well?
He did get injured there as well.
Yeah, and it was like an infection, and it got really bad. I think it got a little scary. Yeah. I think it was really jarring and a really tough situation for him. And then you have something like this happen. Guy plays 23 minutes and 46 seconds a night, has 14 assists in 19 games for the Boston Bruins.
Just a funny story now. So I played in the Canucks, and Garceau was one of my best friends, and Trent Klatt. Trent Klatt had an infection in his leg. And it's a long story, but we'll just say it started in his feet, and he had to go in the hospital. And the infection, you could see it rising up his leg. And we went to visit him, and they'd drawn lines, and they said, if it gets past a certain point, buddy, we might have to, take action here, like as far as amputating his leg. And it was crazy. So I'm in there. I'm like 23 years old. I'm not ready for this. I thought we were just coming to say hi to a guy that was going to get fine. So it's me and Garceau and Trent in the bed. And Garceau looks at him and said, let me guess, you had an allergic reaction to eating vegetables? And honestly, I thought Trent Klatt was going to die from laughing so hard. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. You can imagine the heaviness of the moment. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Garceau is one of the funniest guys I ever played with. So it definitely broke it up. And good news that it seemed immediately it came down. So he was fine.
Just going to clean up that story real quick. You said that you, Garth, and Trent were all in the bed. At any point, were all three of you in the bed?
Did I say hospital? We weren't. He was in the bed, and we were visiting.
You said it was the three of us in the bed. Just clarifying that, bud. Just tidying that up for you.
I might have been sitting on this side.
Cuddle with a buddy? Yeah, if he's not feeling great.
We're all pretty close. Teammates.
Beyond that, for sure. Teammates, for sure.
Then the last one, another freak accident. We had Jack Hughes last week, and we I'm sure I'm going to miss a vowel or two in here, but E2 Luosterainen, center for the Florida Panthers, barbecuing and got burned while barbecuing. And he's out until he can kind of deal with the pain of the burned skin. Sounds like it'll be okay, but probably a couple weeks. So he won't be in there when the Oilers play against them. Really good centerman for the Florida Panthers. So now they're missing. What's that?
Just imagine the chirps that would result from that.
Oh God. So no Barkov, no Luosterainen, and no Tkachuk when the Oilers wheel in there for the game on Saturday, I think at 5:00.
All right. Tough one on tap for the Oilers tomorrow night as they're getting set to take on a Tampa Bay Lightning that's playing well. Got some of their big guys going well. I think there's 7 wins in their last 10 games, so pretty good team there. Struds, let's get quickly to our scoreboard as we discuss what the Oilers have on tap tomorrow night. Some other action from around the National Hockey League tonight, and that's brought to you by the Bridge Fit. They want to remind you most private health benefits reset at the end of the year. So if you've been putting off treatment, might as well make an appointment, right? Use it. If you've got the benefits, use them. Year-end availability is filling up across all locations, so don't wait. They got clinics in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Lethbridge, St. Albert soon. They're building one in St. Albert's. The Bridge, providing accessible team-based care across Alberta. Learn more at thebridge.fit. I know we're a little early here, Strud, so not everything wrapped up, but what else is going on?
Well, kind of a unique night. Oh, not unique, but a light night in the NHL. 12 games tomorrow, only 4 tonight. So we know what happens with the Caps and the Oilers. But the Flames beat the Sabres. They're in in Buffalo, 6-2. The big story that Devin Cooley gets his first win as a Calgary Flame on the back of Morgan Frost scoring, Backlund scoring, Farabee scoring, Coronado, who seems to be finding his game, got the 6 goals. So they're winners in Buffalo. Still 2 games, just heading towards the end of the second period.
Yeah.
The Wild are up 2-1 on the Hurricanes. Wild are at home in that one. Hurricanes wildly outshooting the Wild. That was kind of funny. Double, actually 2-1 in that game, although they're losing. Then the Bruins are losing to the Ducks at home. The Ducks are at home. Morgan Geekie scored, and Radko Gudas gets his first of the year so far for that team.
Circling back on the Flames and your buddy Ryan Huska at the helm there. A good win for them tonight. I think we know it's going to be painful for them this year. Are you seeing signs that they're handling it the right way, Struds, or is it ugly as it should be for a team that has that record? What are you seeing?
I think if you're a veteran on that team and you look around the room and say, where are we going to score? How are we scoring goals here? That's what I would be thinking, and it's kind of played out that way. I think they work hard. They try hard. I mean, their goaltending is, Dustin Wolf is a guy for them. But I in my heart, and I'm sure Ryan Huska would want to hear this, but I'm trading Rasmus Anderson. I'm trading Nazem Kadri, and I'm getting as much as I can for both those guys, and hopefully prospects, not draft picks, because they got to get ready for that new building. I just think that's really important. So they're giving everything they can. They just don't have enough.
Yeah. All right, that was our scoreboard brought to you by the Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. All right, Steve, why don't you hop in here, buddy, as we get set for Ask Us Anything. Time to wrap our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. A lot of discussion tonight about Tom Wilson. A lot of discussion about Zach Hyman, both with eyes on the Olympic team and with the brass in town watching. Both of them had pretty decent nights. We focused our question, though, Steve, on Hyman. What did the viewership think?
Yeah, so very simple question, but a lot of votes. Will Zach Hyman make the Olympic team? We had over 420 people vote far. The winner is no. No, he will not.
No.
68% and 32% said yes.
Tough with him sitting just a couple of games in, having missed all this time. I think we all know he's going to need to start producing offensively to really get himself into that conversation, to show that he's got some of that touchback, Struds. I think he's got some time. Like Brownie said, it was 6 weeks. He has some time, and if he can start putting up some numbers, the motor is there, the tenacity is there. He knows what this team needs from him, and he's delivered it through 2 games. So really, if that offensive touch, he can kind of find that, Struds, I do think he's got a decent shot.
For sure. And I think that we're seeing that, like, the legs to me are really important, because they're going to want, that's going to be a fast tournament. How fast was it last time? We looked at 4 Nations.
Oh, it was insane.
When you
man.
look back,
It's crazy.
When you look back on that tournament, I would say there are 2 players that look fast in that tournament, and Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid, but not as the separation was as great what we see in regular season here or even in playoffs, because everyone was fast. Everyone was fast out there. So Hyman's got to be able to show that his legs are there. And then, not that I'm saying he's a slow player, but he didn't play for a while. His legs are good. Now, as you touched on it, it's that feeling, that scoring. And I didn't say this at the time, but I disagree with Brownie. I think if he's going to that tournament, I think he's playing with Connor McDavid, just like Sidney Crosby had Chris Kunitz on his wing.
Yeah. When he went, in 2010. I covered that tournament too. The other thing too, even strength scoring. I don't think he'll be on the power play. And so if he can get some even strength scoring going and show the Team Canada brass that he can produce at even strength, that would be his role on that team. Probably wouldn't see the power play. Okay, time now for Ask Us Anything. I'm looking forward to this one tonight. We had a lively stream tonight. BJ Electric Supplies presents this segment, an Edmonton-based independent electric wholesaler offering a wide range of products from lighting and lighting controls, wiring accessories, control and hazardous products. If you name it, they most likely have it. Serving electrical contractors working in Alberta's oil and gas, commercial, residential, OEM sectors. Check them out at bjelectric.ca. All right, Steve, let's rapid fire a bunch of these. It was a good stream tonight. Some good dialogue going on.
I'll see how we do. Yeah, there was a lot of different directions and a very, very lively stream. So thanks, everyone. Cyril Strainer, personal trainer, says, long road trip with wins, Great for team building. Long road trip with a bunch of losses. Can this be really have a bad effect on the team other than the standings? What do you think just about that, Struds?
This team's had a lot of road games, and you just want to survive it. Like it's insane. People don't understand the traveling. Tonight they fly from where were they tonight again? They
Washington.
were in Washington. Sorry, Washington to Tampa. They got to get up. They're not going to be. It's going to be a late night. They're going to have to get up. Have a meeting, eat, go back to sleep, get up. And sometimes in that afternoon that you wake up, you're like, I don't even know where are we today? I don't even know where we're at. And then you got to play, and then you got to fly again down to Florida. So there's lots, and there's hardly any practice time because most of your days are spent traveling in between. So I'm not making excuses, but this is reality, and people have to understand that. So, man, if they can get even 3 points out of these last 2 games, I know that's asking a lot after what's happened the last 2. They'll come home. They'll be home for a bit, then they go away again, and then that'll be over. And a lot of the worst of it will be over, and they'll be home a lot and no more trips to the East. So, yes, it does affect your morale, but you're also happy it's behind you heading into what's going to be a very busy second half of the year.
I have no idea what to expect tomorrow. It could be 11-1. I have no idea how this team is going to respond to this back-to-back, where their game is at, if they'll show up in control of their game or not. I'm not sure. The finish line is after that Florida game, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 1 game in 6 days after that Florida game. That's the finish line where they can catch a breather. Just got to survive and make it reasonable until then.
All right. Some talk about Wallman on the stream, so I'm going to bring it up here. Marsboy says, Wallman always coasts back after a bad pinch. And then Rich Mallon came in and said, or is Wallman pinching because he expects the forwards to come back? And they're not. Canadian on Wallman says, Wallman was way better on left D. So, Struds, your thoughts on those comments in general?
So, Rich, you can't expect the forwards to come back. You have to look up and see they're there, and then you pinch. That's the way it is. You can never.
So untrustworthy.
You can't. Well, you can't. Honestly, you can't. They're supposed to be here. They're supposed to be. They're not there. The only time you green. So there's 2 times when you pinch. You are going there and meeting the guy there. Know you're 100% going to get that puck. Or 2, you look up, see that high guy is coming back, floating back, and then it's all in. You can't just hope he's going to be there, right? That doesn't work.
Carmen Gill saying he thought that Nurse and Bouchard looked good together tonight. Do you think they'll have a few more games together? What do you think they'll do with the 2 of them tomorrow night?
Yeah, they'll keep them together. I don't think you take those. I don't think you take those results tonight and feel like you need to change that, Struds. The lone sort of bright spot on a night like tonight. Nurse was more a bright spot than Bouchard because he had that brutal defensive play, but I can't see them switching that for tomorrow. Can you?
Yeah, I mean, Bouchard, there was the one play, right? But still, I mean, that's the play that that's the moment in your game. But they're not changing. They're trying to get guys going, more guys going here, right? So I think that's really important to understand. If you find something that kind of works, you keep it together. So I could see them being together. Yeah, and then after that, I guess we could
roll the dice on the blue line, buddy. Don't try and figure it out. Roll the damn dice. The telltale sign was they were on the ice together when the Oilers were looking for the tying goal.
Yeah, interesting.
Like Nurse was on the ice and Ekholm was not.
Really interesting. I was really surprised by that. Just because historically it's been the other way around. No, I know, but historically it's been the other way. That's fair. No, that's fair. If you did another 2 goals, do you think he'd be out there? Maybe not. I don't know.
You know what that was, Struddy? You know what that was?
What did he
got?
That
was notable.
It was very notable. I was really surprised.
In a notable category. Yeah.
And not in a bad way. I was just surprised. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No It Oil says he found it interesting that Frederick's hitting has skyrocketed since Hyman came back. Correlation or causation? I don't know the answer. But,
he was hitting before. I understand what No It Oil is saying, but he was hitting before. He was trying to get more physical before. That's come back into his game a little bit more consistently recently here. But again, Struds, that line designed with a purpose, right?
Yeah, and I'd like to see that line. Like, I'd like to see these lines again tomorrow. I really would. And really stick with it. Through good, through bad, just play them. Just get them out there. Don't go back to the other two. I do love it when you go to the big guys coming out of the penalty kill. So 100% I'd do that.
Yeah, Noel Rinsky adding in that Frederick had the most hits in the game tonight for either team.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, some fun ones. Scott Thompson says, RD need a Struddy school session. Teach him up.
Yep. Struds, if you could run one drill, if you could run one drill with them, what would it be?
Oh God, I've got a specific one for defending in front of their net, and it is this drill. I love it. I have the copyright on it, so don't try to steal it. But you know, and it's just about just constantly defending and being hard in front of your own net. And it's not about fighting or spearing guys. It's just make it hard in front of your net so guys can't get there, and not even. You know, you confront them when the puck comes out of the corner. You confront them in the corner so they can't get there. So, yeah, that's like my camp. There's nothing fancy. I'm not teaching kids to be Quinn Hughes. I'm teaching them to do the things that coaches want from their D-men, and just be good at it. And then you build off of that. That's the floor. You build off there.
Okay. Scott Thompson asking when we figure Nuge will come back. He says the power play misses his touches and also the penalty kill. Other Nuge injuries had the team slipping. So obviously the team wasn't doing great without Nuge either, but just his impact on the team in general and what we're missing from him. What do you think, Shogger?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's obvious. He does a lot of things, touches a lot of different parts of the game. If there was an update, I missed it in the last day or so, but I think they were expecting him to be out to, I mean, probably when they get back from this trip, I would think. So yeah, he's definitely missed. And gives them an option in their top six, or as Struds would like him to be, that third line center. So we shall see when they get back. That'll be a big add for them.
All right. Aaron St. Pierre asking if Zuby was away at the open tryout to play goalie for the next game.
They want McLennan. They want Zuby. They want anybody else in there. Hey, anybody else in there. That's the way it's going right now. A lot of vitriol on the stream all season long for the goaltending, and that's the way it is. But fair enough.
Yeah, Zuby's home. Just so you guys know, he's home now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zips.
Just so you know, we're thinking about you, big guy. That was our Ask Us Anything segment brought to you by BJ Electric. Time now for our play of the day as we wrap the show, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years. Specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and replacement. Slow drains are telling you it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. Their trenchless method is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day, complete with a backflow protection as well. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. Struddy, what's our play of the day tonight?
Oh, I'm bending the rules on this one, but I got to do it, Shogger. So this was a play of yesterday. Both McLennan, Celebrini, and Conberdard had hat tricks yesterday. And hold on. What I loved about it, I was watching the Hawks and Flames game last night, and Conberdard was they pulled their goalie, and he just turns and fires it without really looking at the net, knowing where it was, just instinctually, and he scored for his hat trick. I had that one penciled in. Sorry, in pen I wrote it down. That's how much I liked that play yesterday from Connor Bedard, making a push for the Olympic team.
I don't think that the judges are going to accept that one. I think if you wanted to bring that up on Struddy's World today, Struddy's World every Wednesday, live stream 12 to 1 on across all our channels. I think you could bring that up on Struddy's World at noon today. To bring that up at 9:41 p.m. Mountain Time the following day, I don't believe the good people at Mainline who sponsor this segment would approve of that. My gut tells me, Struds.
They love the play. They love the play. I saw it on their socials. They're like, this was incredible by Connor Bedard.
No, I'm making the call. That's penalty on the play.
What?
Flag
No.
on the play. Yeah,
Come on.
Yep. Got to be from, I mean, can't be more than 24 hours old, for goodness sakes. That'll wrap the show. That's it. Fun one tonight. This was good, Struds. The people
Really good.
brought it, hey? The people of Got Your Back on the stream brought it tonight. I thought Brownie brought it too.
In a healthy way. Honestly, I thought that I was trying to look at the stream as much. It was healthy and a lot of good, like a lot of angles to come at. And that's what's kind of scary for Chris Knoblauch. There's not one thing right now, although I think the defensive posture by the team is the big one, but a lot of different angles. I loved it.
Yeah.
Steve, you put in great effort, buddy, the last few days. You guys were awesome together on Struddy's World today. Make sure you go grab that. Download it if you haven't already. Check it out on YouTube. And by the way, leave us a review over on iTunes if you get a chance. We'd love to know what you think. Throw us a thumbs up on the way out the door. Like and subscribe. Tell a friend. All that stuff. We will be back and do it all again tomorrow night after the Oilers taking on a tall task in the Tampa Bay Lightning. It'll be a good one. Should be a good show. And we will see you then. See you, fellas. Good night. Night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Fun to be.